Here's what I want. I want a happy life filled with joy, gratitude, and appreciation. Here's what I have. Instead, I'm always thinking and worrying. Emotions take over, I'm quick to anger, I second guess my choices in life, I spend a lot of time thinking about negative things, and I often walk around literally lost in thought. Enter meditation. In my 40 plus years, I have never meditated. I had no clue what it is and why people do it. I never grew up around it. It wasn't part of my culture. Over the last year or so, if you've noticed on my channel, I've done a lot of things to improve my life, like taking breaks from alcohol, quitting caffeine, reading self-help books, exercising, eating right, etc. And all of that has really helped increase the quality of my life, but it hasn't helped me get to that next level of inner peace. Since I've always been curious, I thought I would give meditation a try and see what it's about, so I wanted to do it every morning for 5 to 10 minutes for 30 days in a row, so I did. And holy crap, I get it now. Look, I'm a total noob when it comes to this stuff, but let me do my best to explain what I think meditation is, why it's so important, and how to get started with it. Meditation is basically a training method for your mind. When things happen to us in life, our mind generates a certain response based on our experiences. And as we get older, we fall back more and more on those responses and reactions, so our brains almost start to run on autopilot. It doesn't have to do anything. See, our minds do what they're best at. You know how they say you are what you eat? Well, it's basically the same thing for your mind. You are what you think. So if you think the same thoughts all the time, you get better at them. For better or for worse, in most cases it's worse. This might seem silly, but I've always taken pride in how much I think about things. I never stop thinking. And I always thought responding to things very fast was impressive. Like having fast reactions to things was like a superpower. In school, I always finished tests really quick. And at parties, if someone asks a question, I always have a fast answer. Oh, how wrong I was. Reacting quickly to things isn't a superpower. In fact, I would now argue the opposite is true. Meditation creates separation. It buys you time from responding to things with emotion and lets you instead respond with thoughtfulness. And what a huge difference those things are. Meditation is a tool that gives you the ability to give your mind a moment. That doesn't sound like much, right? But for someone like me, who right when I wake up and start listening and reacting to thought after thought with no downtime, responding to things with pure emotion, never questioning my thoughts, it's like I have no say in life. Let's think for a second what responding to things with emotions means in life. Let's say you're driving and you need to get to an appointment on time, and the person in front of you seems to purposefully be driving slow as if knowing you need to get somewhere and they want to make you late. What's your mind doing? I'll tell you what my mind is doing. It's going nuts. It wants me to flash my high beams, drive real close, and start making not so subtle hand gestures. Now that I have practiced meditating and I'm in a situation like that, before I listen to my mind tell me that this person is being a total on purpose and needs to be taught a lesson, I clear my mind of all those thoughts, and I do so by focusing my awareness on my breath. Then I think about the situation without all my experiences of my past affecting my reaction. Maybe that person has a pregnant wife who's in labor right now and is driving slow to make sure she's comfortable. If you knew that, would that change your thoughts? Maybe that person's dog ran away and they're searching for it. Your mind will always make you the victim. That's what minds do. And if you don't know any better, you will listen to that voice as usual, and it will make you feel anxious, it will make you feel angry, and your emotions will go up and down like a roller coaster your whole life. That's how it's been for me anyway. Our mind reacts to things without knowing the full story, and we listen to it without question. Imagine someone is late when meeting you at a promised time. What's your mind saying? It's saying, that jerk is late. But it doesn't know the full story. Maybe that person got in a car accident. Meditation has helped me realize my mind is not always right. It's a tool we get to use to solve problems, but we do not need to use it all the time. Have you ever heard of the Zen teaching called beginner's mind? I always assumed it was a starting point, like you're a beginner, but it's actually endgame stuff, something you have to work really hard to achieve. From what I can tell, the whole point of it is to be able to see things in the world without all your past memories affecting how you feel, without generating emotion, to truly live in the moment and appreciate things for what they are. And as I got through the 30 days of meditating, I noticed every day I was better able to control my mind in every situation. In times of anger, I could control how I feel. In times of anxiety, I could control how I act. It seems to me that the secret to a joy-filled life is to let go of all preferences. I know, that sounds crazy, but when we have preferences, we suffer. We think things like, I'm only happy if I have my coffee in the mornings and I'm miserable when I don't. Then we believe those thoughts. Only when we get what we want do we feel joy. But you can feel joy all the time without preferences. Now, I'm not saying don't drink coffee. Coffee is amazing. The point isn't about coffee. If you think, oh, if it rains later, that's gonna suck, then when it rains, now you're unhappy. Rain is amazing. We can't control it. Why should we care if it rains or not? Meditation is an important part of being able to clear the mind of all thoughts. When you start Googling it, meditation sounds like you just sit on a cushion focusing on your breathing. And while there are different ways to do about it, that's basically just it. When you sit, close your eyes and focus on breathing, what happens? Your mind wants to grab onto thoughts and not focus on your breath, right? Every time you go back to your breath, you train your mind not to go back to the path of least resistance, which is responding to every thought that comes to your mind. Thoughts will come up and vie for your attention so hard, over and over and over and over again. But as you practice and get better and faster at returning to the breath, you start to figure out how to do it efficiently and quickly, dropping thoughts before they even become thoughts at all. One day you realize you don't have to be sitting with your eyes closed to have this skill. It becomes like a new ability you have and you can use it all the time. And eventually, since we become what we think, we can create new reactions and responses to things, better ones that you want. You realize when things happen, we don't have to listen to the first thought. We breathe, then we use our logical mind to determine how we really want to react to things. Now, for example, when I'm driving, and don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect, but often if someone cuts me off, I use this surge of emotional energy as an opportunity to channel my awareness. Instead of thinking how bad I want to flip them the bird, I take a breath, laugh at myself, then think of something I'm grateful for instead. I'm telling you, being able to not react to thoughts and replacing it with gratefulness and gratitude, it's changing my whole life. It's filling me with joy, with love. I love it. Now, sitting meditation doesn't always work for me. I don't always have time for it. So I try and sprinkle in walking meditations where instead of closing my eyes and breathing, I focus on my breath while moving and give my mind a break. Breath is insane. It's insane because you don't actually control it. I mean, you can alter it, but somehow your body just does it naturally, unconsciously. The point is, you are not in control of your breath, but you are aware of it. It's like your thoughts. You are not your thoughts, you are aware of them. When you release control of your mind from being in the driver's seat of your existence and you're able to let go of things like your thoughts, that's when life really starts happening. When your awareness is out there, not when you're trapped up here listening to a voice that doesn't know everything. The point is to disconnect from your conscious mind and come out with a fresh mind, like a rebirth where everything feels new again. And the more you do it, the more that feeling lingers. For me, when my ego mind is in the driver's seat and I'm busy with thought all day, I get agitated easily and I don't have a lot of patience for people who don't align with my beliefs. But when I start the day with meditation, I learn to break from that mind, to pause before I react. I've learned that my first reaction to things is very different from how I react to things when I pause for a moment, and that's what meditation continues to teach me. So after 30 days of meditating for 5 to 10 minutes in the morning and sprinkling in mindfulness walks, I'm noticing moments throughout the day where I pause. That pause makes me appreciate my surroundings and even helps me remember things I would often forget. I might be coming home from dropping a kid off somewhere and want to jump out of the car because I'm excited to get home and do something. But now when I turn off the car, I pause. I take a breath. Oh yeah, I left my sunglasses in the car. Let's bring them in. I'm really excited to keep learning more about myself and getting better at training my mind with meditation. I'm very guilty of getting worked up about things I can't control and wasting precious life energy obsessing about those thoughts and feeding into those emotions. Why worry about the neighbors being loud or that thoughtless jerk who never learned what a turn signal is? Life is too short and full of beauty to waste energy on thoughts like that. We have a lot to be grateful for, even though it might not always feel like it. Meditation has given me pause, and that pause is amazing. I was excited to make this video to share all the benefits I've started to notice since I've started practicing meditation and mindfulness. Again, I'm still a super beginner, but I do see the benefits. In fact, I see the benefits to teaching it to my children. My daughter is in gymnastics and she's really good. In fact, she'll learn a new skill, be able to do it, but then think herself out of being able to do that new skill because now she's scared she might hurt herself, etc. It's pretty wild to see. But I'm trying to show her that it's her mind overthinking about things and how to let go of those thoughts. Let me wrap up with this great Chung Tzu quote called "The Need to Win." It goes like this: when an archer is shooting for nothing, he has all his skill. If he shoots for a brass buckle, he is already nervous. If he shoots for a prize of gold, he goes blind or sees two targets. He is out of his mind. His skill has not changed, but the prize divides him. He cares. He thinks more of winning than of shooting, and the need to win drains him of power. Isn't that kind of awesome? When my daughter competes, she gets nervous and that affects her skill, but it shouldn't. She's done it thousands of times. Our mind can do crazy things to us. When we go through life being grateful and going with the flow, it's amazing. But when we start overthinking things, we start second guessing our choices and maybe even our relationships. Life is hard. Life is challenging. So anything that makes life better, I'm all about. And for me, meditation is definitely worth learning about. I did 30 days in a row, and while I'm not guaranteeing I will sit every morning like I did for the month, it will definitely be an ongoing part of my life that I want to practice more and learn more about. I hope I've got you a little interested or curious about it too, because I'd love to chat more in the comments about it below. I often learn so much from the comments, so if you're able to leave a comment based on your experience or by asking questions, I would really appreciate that. I don't actually have any key books that helped me with meditation in particular, but I do have a recommendation for a book that changed my life when it comes to learning about the beginner's mind and being grateful, and that is The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. I've talked about it on this channel and I even made a review, so if you haven't watched that yet, check out that video here. That book might be responsible for me launching this channel. I'm very grateful I read it. Well, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you're able to like or comment on the video or even subscribe to the channel, that would be awesome. I appreciate your time. We'll see you next time on The Sad Life.